ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तावत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ॐ जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो भक्तेभ्यो शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः। समस्त भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेद व्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुनये शौनकादृषिभ्यो अत्र्यादृषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो दक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय ग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो मत्स्यादवतारेभ्यो नमः। श्री आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। श्री माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कंधः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। Today an extra day we'll use for just browsing through this most profound chapter as I felt it is useful for all sadhakas because it is talking two most crucial aspects of dussanga and its consequences, satsanga and its consequences. As the spiritual seekers, the students of the Shastras, what the most important things which we have to know and which we have to implement are these two only. So we will chant the entire chapter and we will browse through the summary of it today. That's our goal. Just go through it and feel did we catch the essence of this chapter at different occasions, different topics. Let us see it first chanted. Atha Shadvimshodhyayah श्रीभगवानुवाच मल्लक्षणमिमं कायं लब्ध्वा मद्धर्म आस्थितः आनन्दं परमात्मानम् आत्मस्थं समुपैति मां गुणमय्या जीवयोन्या विमुक्तो ज्ञाननिष्ठया गुणेषु मायामात्रेषु दृश्यमानेष्वस्तुतः वर्तमानोऽपि न पुमान् युज्यते अवस्तुभिर्गुणैः संगं न कुर्यादसतां शिष्णोदरतृपां क्वचितो तस्यानुगस्तमस्यन्धे पतत्यन्धानुगान्धवतो ऐलः सम्राडिमां गाथाम् अगायत बृहच्छ्रवाः ऊर्वशी विरहान्मुह्यन् निर्विण्णः शोकसंयमे त्यक्त्वात्मानं व्रजन्तीं तां नग्न उन्मत्तवन्नृपः विलपन् अन्नवगाध्याये घोरे तिष्ठेति विक्लवः कामान् तृप्तोऽनुजुषन् क्षुल्लकान् वर्षयामिनीः न वेदयान्तिर्नायान्तीः ऊर्वश्याकृष्टचेतनः ऐलवाच अहो मे मोहविस्तारः कामकश्मलचेतसः देव्या गृहीतकण्ठस्य न आयुः खण्डा इमे स्मृताः नाहं वेदाभिनिर्मुक्तः सूर्यो वाभ्युदितो मुया मुषितो वर्षपूगानां पताहानि गतानि उत अहो मे आत्मसम्मोहः येनात्मा योषितां कृतः क्रीडामृगः चक्रवर्ती नरदेवशिखामणिः सपरिच्छदमात्मानं हित्वा तृणम् इव ईश्वरं यान्तीं स्त्रियं चान्वगमं नग्न उन्मत्तवत् रुदन् कुतस्तस्यानुभावः स्यात् तेज ईशत्वमेव वा योऽन्वगच्छन् स्त्रियं यान्तीं खरवत्पादताडितः किं विद्यया किं तपसा किं त्यागेन श्रुतेन वा किं विविक्तेन मौनेन स्त्रीवीर्यस्य मनोहृतम् स्वार्थस्याकोविदं धिङ्मां मूर्खं पण्डितमानिनं योऽहमीश्वरतां प्राप्य स्त्रीभिर्गोखरवज्जितः सेवतो वर्षपूगान्मे ऊर्वश्या अधरासवं न तृप्यति आत्मभूः कामः वह्निराहुतिभिर्यथा पुंसल्यापहृतं चित्तं कोऽन्वन्यो मोचितुं प्रभुः आत्मा रामेश्वरम् अरुते भगवन्तम् अधोक्षजं बोधितस्यापि देव्या मे सूक्तवाक्येन दुर्मतेः मनोगतो महामोहः नापयति अजितात्मनः किमेतया नोपकृतं रज्ज्वा वा सर्पचेतसः रज्जुः स्वर्पा विदुषः योऽहं यद् अजितेन्द्रियः क्वायं मलीमसः कायः दौर्गन्ध्याद्यात्मको अशुचिः क्व गुणाः सौमनस्याद्याः यद्यासो अविद्यया कृतः पित्रोः किं स्वनुभार्यायाः स्वामिनोऽग्नेश्वरगृध्रयोः किमात्मनः किं सुहृदाम इति यो नावसीयते तस्मिन् कळेबरे अमेध्ये तुच्छनिष्ठे विसज्जते अहो सुभद्रं सुनसं सुस्मितं च मुखं स्त्रियाः त्वं मां सरुधिरस्नायु मेदो मज्जास्ति संहतौ विण्मोत्रपूये रमतां कृमीणां कियदन्तरम् अथापि नोपसज्जेत स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चार्थवित् विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् मनः क्षुभ्यति नान्यथा अदृष्टाद् अश्रुताद् भावाद् न भाव उपजायते असंप्रयुञ्जतः प्राणान् शाम्यति स्तिमितं मनः तस्मात् संगो न कर्तव्यः स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चेन्द्रियैः विदुषां चाप्यविस्रब्धः षड्वर्गः किमु मादृशाम् श्रीभगवानुवाच एवं प्रगायन् नृपदेवदेवः स ऊर्वशीलोकमथो विहाय आत्मानमात्मन्यवगम्य मां वै उपारमज्ञानविधोतमोहः ततो दुःसङ्गमुत्सृज्य सत्सु सज्जेत बुद्धिमान् सन्त एतस्य छिन्दन्ति मनोव्यासङ्गमुक्तिभिः सन्तोऽनपेक्षामच्चित्ताः प्रशान्ताः समदर्शिनः निर्ममा निरहङ्काराः निर्द्वन्द्वा निष्परिग्रहाः तेषु नित्यं महाभागेषु मत्कथाः सम्भवन्ति हितान् नॄणां जुषतां प्रपुनन्त्यघं ताये शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति ह्यनुमोदन्ति चादृताः मत्पराः श्रद्धानाश्च भक्तिं विन्दन्ति ते मयि भक्तिं लब्धवतः साधोः किमन्यदवशिष्यते मयि अनन्तगुणे ब्रह्मणि आनन्दानुभवात्मनि यथोपश्रयमाणस्य भगवन्तं विभावसुं शीतं भयं तमोप्येति साधून् संसेवतस्तथा निमज्जोन्मज्जतां घोरे भवाब्धौ परमायनं सन्तो ब्रह्मविदः शान्ताः नौर्दृढे वाप्सुमज्जताम् अन्नं हि प्राणिनां प्राणः आर्तानां शरणं त्वहं धर्मो वित्तं नृणां प्रेत्य सन्तोर्वाग् बिभ्यतोरणम् सन्तो दिशन्ति चक्षुंषि बहिरर्कः समुत्थितः देवता बान्धवाः सन्तः सन्त आत्माहमेव च वैतसेनस्ततोऽप्येवम् उर्वश्या लोकनिस्पृहः मुक्तसङ्गो महीमेधाम् आत्मा रामश्चचारः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे ऐल उपाख्यानं नाम षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीभागवत शरणं मम, श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्रीसूत शरणं मम, श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम, श्रीव्यास शरणं मम, श्रीनारद शरणं मम, श्रीकुमार शरणं मम, श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम, श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्ययं रसः अत पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामामुञ्चत कर्हिचिद। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः। मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। ऐलौपाख्यानं श्री भगवत् उक्त सत्संग महिमा च। Salutations to the Lord, to entire Bhagavatacharyas, Guru Parampara, all the avatars, all the bhaktas. Salutations to the great sadhakas in each and every one of you, and hearty welcome. The beautiful way of explaining about Bandha Moksha, Sadhya Sadhana, in short, entire Adhyatmic Jnanam, the treasury is hidden in the Sanskrita Bhasha. In all our other mother languages, mother tongues, we may be given with this knowledge, but not with that much of the force. We find that much literature in our languages, because all our languages came for the sake of mostly the Vyavahar. Samskrita Bhasha came for the Paramartha, Paramarthika, Tattva Chintana ityadi. Therefore, even in the best of the languages of ours, to a great extent they talk about values, they talk about good and bad things. To some extent they can lift us up to some bhavana level, bhakti level, upasana level. Yes, there are some rare writers in our languages also who have experienced the truth and have given some compositions to us, but not as widely as our Samskrita Bhasha. And in that Bhasha, the literature which we have. So the Shruti, the Smriti, the Purana, and the Itihasa, which are the Moksha Granthas mainly, along with Dharmartha Kama also, they so exhaustively they are given to us, but in that Bhasha of Samskrita. And the difficulty to you, the listeners, more than you, the speakers, is what is hidden in that Sanskrita bhasha, which cannot be actually put in the Shabda. They have to try to explain to us in our Laukika bhasha. Though how much ever they try the best, still total joy, satisfaction will not be there for the Vakta, because what is experiencing while studying what is in Sanskrit cannot be put it in any bhasha. But there is no other way. And we have to go like that only till again the times change where everyone becomes Samskrita Pandita, so that they themselves not only are able to understand the superficial literal meanings while chanting the mantra, but they are able to delve deep into the very sublime meanings of this entire Indian literature, Sanatana Dharma. Till it happens, there's no way other than for us to speak in these languages. Nothing wrong, but this year, these 2 minutes is spoken only to say the glory of the Adhyatmika Jnanam, and that is hidden in Bhasha Samskritam, and the glory of Samskrita Bhasha. So too, the defect in Samskrita is what? In Samskrita, you cannot have the Vyavaharik things as effectively as they are done in the Vyavaharik Bhasha. Like in Vyavahara, your mother tongue, how wholeheartedly you can abuse each other, and you can scold each other. That cannot be done in Sanskrit. If you try to do it in Sanskrit, it appears to be like praising only. The sweet language, like Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. That Mudamate never harms us only. लगता ही नहीं कि हमको गाली दिया, लेकिन that's the biggest गाली. In our languages, मूर्ख, बेवकूफ, stupid fellow, nonsense, दिमाग नहीं है. That is the meaning of that mudamati. But you will not have that joy in Sanskrit of scolding, of vyavahara. So too, the joy of Jnanam, Bhakti, Vedanta, we can't have it in our languages as much it is there in Sanskrita. Therefore, learn Sanskrit, learn your language. With your language, enjoy the Vyavahara. With Sanskrit, enjoy the Adhyatmikata. That's how in short. So keep that idea in mind. Bhasha, even I also don't know that much. That's why I'm speaking in this language. But let us learn it to a little greater and more extent, so that we can enjoy more thoroughly our Shastras. Now, as I said, we'll just browse through from beginning of this most profound, important 26th chapter patiently, happily, joyfully, more importantly, with full concentration. My idea of going through it, did I miss any of the important topics to be discussed? If not, just keep on going through. How did it started? If you see the 26th chapter, hope you have the book in your hands. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Bhagavan started it. What he said, Mal Lakshanam Imam Kayam Labdva, having born as a human being, Mad Dharmaha Astitaha, having fully established in Mat Dharma of Bhakti and Jnanam. What will happen to that sadhaka? Is no more a sansari now. Anandam Paramatmanam Atmastam Samupaiti Mam. See where it started, where it ended, toward the end also. Same thing was said 3-4 shlokas before the conclusion. Is it not? Bhaktim labdhavatah sadhoho kimanyad avashishyate mai ananta gune brahmani ananda anubhava atmani. The way he started, there only concluded. So, having born as human being, when we take up exclusively the dharma of Bhagavan Prapti called as Bhakti and Jnanam, what will happen? Mam Samupaiti. They will reach to me. Through Bhakti and Jnana, in a human life, if you try, you can reach to me. That is the meaning of Shloka 1. To me, in which me? Anandam Paramatmanam Atmast. You will reach to the Anandam. Param, Atmanam, Atmastam. So Param Anandam is the main word here. You will reach to Param Anandam. In what way it is? Atmanam, as your own self. Where is it? In your own heart. What about me whom you have worshipped? Mam Samupaiti. So the Atma in your own self as Ananda, as Paramatma. all four are simultaneously experienced. What are the simultaneously experienced four things? In the Atma, my own self, as Ananda Swarupa, as Paramatma. Now you see what we are studying in morning class. ऊर्भुवस्वरितिवा एतः तिस्रः व्यासुतयः तासामोहस्मैतां चतुर्थीं महाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा. Is it not the same subject? And when in the Hridaya Dahara Akasha Vidya was given to us in the sixth Anuvaka, are we not saying the same thing? Saya esho ontara Hridaya Akasha tasmin ayam purushaha, your own self. Manomayaha, Amrutaha, Hiranmayaha. This is what is the beauty of our togetherness, Ekavakyata, our Upanishads of the Vedika Kala and our great Puranas of Bhagavata Ityadi. If we are able to study both of them and compare them and understanding will give us inspiration. With that inspiration, definitely we have to do the sadhana and reach out. Therefore, in this one sloka, through bhakti and jnana, reach to the God in your own self as yourself, which is Ananda Swarupa. This is what. Very good. Once that is reached, now you have become Siddha Purusha, Jnani, Atmagnya, Mukta Purusha, Ananda Anubhavi, Paramatma Prapta Vyakti. Then how do you express outside? He says, Gunamaya Jivayonya Vimukto Jnana Nishtaya. See, when through the Nishtha in that Atma Jnanam, when one is freed from the Jiva Bhava which was born because of the Trigunas. See, there Trigunas we are talking here. In the Upanishad, we were talking about three dehas. Annamaya, Pranamaya and Manomaya. See, Annamaya deha is always Tamoguni. Pranamaya deha is always Rajoguni. And Manomaya deha is always Sattoguni. Because the Annamaya is only Dravya Atmakata, naturally Tamoguna. Pranamaya is the one because of which all activities happen. And Rajoguna is also of activity. They are together. And Manomaya is the Jnanam, Sattva Guna, because in the Sattva Guna we gain the Jnanam, in the Mana also we only have the knowledge, information, Jnanam. Is it not? So there it talked about three Deha Tadatmya transcending, here the Triguna Tadatmya transcending. And in these Trigunas, if we are there, we are Jivayonya. Same there also. With the three Dehas, we are Purusha, means Purishayanatu. Sleeping to the self and awakened only to the Jiva Bhava of Dehosmi, Manaha Asmi, Pranaha Asmi. Ityadi. Spashtam. So Gunamaya Jivayonya Vimuktaha, how? Jnana Nishtaya. Then Guneshu Maya Matreshu Drishyamaneshu. Even after knowing the self, the gunas means the objects of the world are seen. But how they are seen as Maya Matreshu. Now the Telugu people are studying the Maya subject also today. Shakti Dvayam hi Mayayaha Vikshepavriti Rupakam Ityadi. So the Guneshu Maya Matreshu Drishyamaneshu. Remember, they are seen. But now the truth is known. From the standpoint of truth, they are untrue but seen. Therefore, they are only projection and imagination. Therefore, avastutaha. So the whole problem is solved when the vastavikata is not given to the Jagat. Maximum you can give the mithyatva to the Jagat. The reality you should not give to Jagat. Real is only Paramatma. That's what again we quoted in the morning. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Did we get this thought? First sentence, first sadhana viveka. Evam rupo vinishchaya soyam nitya nitya vastu vivekaha samudaharataha. See, connection all of. And then while listening this, our genius is how much we are able to immediately connect this subject which we are hearing now to the already existing knowledge in us. In the sense, did this knowledge happen to me already, or still I am taking it lightly? Or when should and how should I take it to my heart? This is about me. So I, having born as a human, pursuing the divine path of Bhakti Jnana, have to discover the Lord and my own self in my own self as Ananda. When I know that, even though I live in the world outside, looking at this world, but because I know the truth, this entire world will be understood only as Drushya but not Satyam Avastutaha. This is what the last sloka. Mukta Sangaha Mahimetam Atma Ramaschacharaha. Mukta Sangaha, because there is nothing to be attached other than the self. He is experiencing the self. There is nothing other than the self as real, though appearing. With that experience, Atma Ramaha, revealing his own self, the Pururava was Mahim Etam Chachara. He was moving freely in the world. Now we are so much bound within ourselves when we are at home with so much of desires in mind. And obviously, when going to the world, indulging in those desires, we are caught up only. But he, in the mind, free because he knew the self. In the world, is free because he knows the world is not real. This is the meaning of Drushyamaneshu avastutaha. Then Vartamanopi. Though he is involving in the world, na puman yujjate. He will not be attached because avastu vir gunaihi. Guna means the objects. Avastu means not real. How can one can get attached to the non-real things? That formness of experience of the reality of the self as well as the delusory nature of the appearance of the world. This world appears only, not real. Start taking real, you are caught up. And this we are doing from so many lives. And that habits, those vasanas are not allowing us to come out of this ignorance, and ignorance led these misconceptions and delusions. We have to try our best to jump out of that. Like in heavy rains flooding the entire South India or even many parts of India. People are caught up, vehicles are caught up. They are trying to pull them out. हो ही नहीं पा रहा, देखते गए बस. See that Amarnath. Same way we are also देखते are caught up in this only. We are not able to come out. But then we have the Guru Satsanga, which is the next topic. Second topic in this, when you hold on to them, they are NDRF team. And disaster and rescue management wale, they will protect us. The gurus. Interesting. So this is what is the goal and sadhana told. Now where to start? Visa sangam na kuryad asatam. Don't do the sangha with asat, which will take you to make you feel that the world is real, the involvements in the world are real, the indulgences are real, then they are giving our sukha. In this type of wrong notion, we become more and more strengthened. Already we are in that. More we become stronger if we do the asanga or sangha with the asattu. So first from our mind, the too much interest given to the asanga is being removed. Then we will be inspired about the need of satsanga, way of satsanga, what is the purpose and what we have to do there. This is how this chapter is such a wonderful. I tell you, तो इसी को पढ़ते रहना डेली, बाकी कहीं कुछ भी कहीं भी हो जाए, पहले इसको समझो. Then who are asat? Shishna udara trupa. Shishna udara trupa, those who are fulfilling the desires of the mouth, udara, the stomach, the tongue, as well as Shishna. So it is only to imagine, to say that those who are not pursuing Paramatma, but indulging in the world through the senses, Deha and Mana, they are called Asat Purusha. उनसे असंग संग नहीं करना. करोगे तो तस्य अनुगः तमसि अंधदि पतति. अंध अनुग अंधवत. If you follow them, you will enter into more and more dark regions, like the blind following blind, both follow. Now, each of this sloka, each of this meaning of this sloka, we have to just take at the intellectual level and inquire, is it right what is said? Are there any examples? Our own or anybody else's. Then becoming stronger in this thought, therefore I will not do the sangha with asata, therefore I will not allow myself to fall into the further andhakara away from truth and reality. That decision, that conviction always should be. The moment you see any Shishnodara Trupa, immediately it should strike to us that this is Asat. If I involve in that, I will be falling into more and more Tamaha. See? The moment the sweets are seen, the diabetic patient, too heavy, high rate of diabetes he has got, let us say, immediately he knows if I eat that, the sugar will grow, it will damage me. See that? The BP fellow, when all these salty items are kept, the one who is prone for sardiyan, any cold items are given, no, 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 मेरे को सर्दी लग जाती, दूर रखो मेरे से. So, to those who don't want to fall further into the tamas of living life only at the indulgence level, papa adi, leading to all narakadi, those who want to rise above, they have to be always aware about this asattu and don't do sangha. For your sake, it may help you. Therefore, I am narrating to you the story of the Ailaha. Samrat, Ilaputra Pururava. Great king he was. Okay, Imam Gatham Agayata. He is the one who sang this song, Bruhat Shravaha, who is very famous for all the three things. The special reason for which the Aila Samrat's case is taken, as example taken, is he is great in his name and fame for all the three things. First thing was, he was a great king of all achievements. He himself will say that in his song a little bit. Such a great king, still he was also infatuated by Urvashi and fell to such a level of getting kicked by her like a donkey or became a plaything in her hands. Then for that also he became famous. And third, he again, when she kicked and went away, got such a vairagyam and entered into satsanga, and in that very life, he detached himself from everything, established in Paramatma and got mukti. देखो एक ही जन्म में तीनों हो गए. That is why Bruhat Shravaha, very famous story. Many stories are there. उसमें एक या दो एस्पेक्ट्स होते होंगे, तीनों नहीं. Either first and third aspect, second and third. इसमें first, second, third, all the three आ गए. A great achiever became spiritual. A person infatuated but realized and became spiritual. These stories many you can see. But a great person fell down and again became spiritual and realized. ये ज़्यादा inspiring है. And why it's so inspiring? Because of the main theme which is spoken now. Ki outside you may be a great, great king of all conquering. But inside, if you are not careful with your dussanga, all your greatness of yours goes away. You will fall to such a down level. And that is what he is going to say in his song. मैं कहा महाराजा सम्राट चक्रवर्ती, because of dussanga, I just fell down to such a level of nagda unmatta. I am running behind her. क्या हो गया मेरे को? कहाँ था मैं? क्या था मैं? कौन था? अब क्या देखो? And he says in his thing, fie upon me with all my achievements, with all my. He himself says about in general all the great tapasvins, but it includes him also. I have done all vidya, tapas, tyaga, suti, vivikta, mauna. Yet, if my mind is rooted by Stri, nothing is with me, all is waste only. See that? That theme is important. In this particular example of Pururava, how much he achieved outside, yet inside, if he is not careful, all the outer attachments are of no use. दूसरों को जय से पहले खुद को जय करे, tentatively this meaning. We conquer the whole world, but our indriya, mana, buddhi, our upadhis, our avidya, if they are not conquered, all the outer conquering is temporary, only waiting for a time to show us that we have achieved nothing. So, Ailaha Samrad Imam Gatham Agayata Bharasravaha. What happened? Urvashi virahat munhyana nirvinnaha shoka samyame. See, there are 3 stages in him. First, Urvashi, 4 stages. With Urvashi, he was there, enjoyed. Then she left, therefore Urvashi Virahat. And when she left Muhyan, he was so much miserable. Then Shoka Samyame, after some time, when the Shoka got down, the Nirvinnaha, then he became Nirveda Yukta, the Vairagyavan. And with that Vairagya, when he started thinking, then all what he has done, he analyzed, he came to know where he went wrong. Then all that is selected and deleted, and what is the best thing to be done, he involved in that. So where did he go wrong? Again, same theme right from beginning. He went wrong in Dussanga. Now what is the best thing to be done? Again, take up Satsanga. See, the main theme man mein rakhna. You are a human supposed to reach Bhagavan through doing sadhana, bhakti and jnana. And that you are not able to do because of Dussanga. Therefore, with all the songs sung by Ila Putra, we get out of this Dussangata. And what Bhagavan spoke about the Mahima of Satsanga, with that inspiration, join the Satsangata continuously. And in the Satsanga, develop Bhakti and Jnana and get your own Atmanubhava Mukti. And that's called purpose fulfillment of human body, human life. That is a theme. Again and again, we have to rotate around that, revolve around that, and wherever whatever is lacking, all that we have to fill it up. Whatever misunderstandings are, they may have to be made right. In short, a full-fledged person of giving up Dussanga and full-fledged person of taking up Satsanga rigorously, vigorously, doing all sadhana, reaching to Paramatma. That type of personality we have to become. That's what is the purpose of this chapter. Even after that, the khel is not khatam. Every step, again, there will be prarabdhas, there is vasanas, there will be the new words that come in front of us. All these obstructions, enemies, and root also we have to conquer and go. Inner enemies we conquered. Present outer enemies we conquered. But in the journey, again there will be enemies. उनको भी करते करते हमें जाना. But if you have the talwar khadga of the vairagyam, and if you have the jnana, okay, then a protector, shield, then we'll be able to combat all enemies and go ahead. So though he was with Urvashi Anandam, then Urvashi Viraha, because of Muhyam, then Shoka Samyama happened, he became Nirvinna. With that Nirvedamana, he sang this song. In short, what was his song? Bhagavan sang in 2 shlokas. Then he says, "Main kya kahun?" Let he himself sing. This was his entire song. First Bhagavan says, then he says what Aila, the Pururava himself said or sang. What Bhagavan said here, Tyaktvatmanam vrajantim tam. She left him and going away. When she was going away, Nagna unmattavat nupaha. He was without dress, like a pagal fellow. He was running behind. That also Vilapan, Anvagat. रोते हुए जा रहा है पीछे. And what was he crying, shouting? Both Kama and Krodha. Ghore Jaye Tishta. The Jaya is his attachment to her. Tishta is his expectation from her. Ghore, he is frustrated with her because she is not listening, going only. And while explaining this, we said specifically the entire objective world, entire world of Prakriti will never stay with us permanently. If it is Prakriti, it has got inherently the Vikruti in it. The Vikruti is, it gets modified and it leaves us and goes away. Even if Purvashi is there with him without living, she will become old one day. He will also become old. Vikruti to hoega na? Now the same charm, same beauty of earlier times are not there. But the desires are there still. Same cry will be there. Whether she is leaving and going or staying and becoming old, both are same. Or staying, died or you die. कोई permanent तो नहीं है ना, बनना तो पड़ेगा किसी को. But the shoka will be same. And this shoka will be carried on to the next life. If it is not cleared in this life with a Viveka Vairagya and intensifying the sadhana in as a sadhaka by involving with Satsanga. That is what we have to do more conscious. We are doing that only from last 2.5 years. But with more conscious understanding and more purposefully we have to do it. Then the joy of doing is more. Then the joy of reaching high scales also will be more. We will see that we are growing. Should we not enjoy that we are growing? और उसमें वहम है कि साधना कर रहे हैं कुछ तो होगा, नहीं हो रहा है, मुझे खुद को पता होना है. आई एम नॉट द सेम पर्सन लाइक अर्लियर with all attachments and all. No, I'm freed. I'm different now. I got my vivek. I got my vairagya. I know what is what. I know what is the purpose of life. I know I'm doing that. क्या मजा आता है उसको अगर हम मन में याद करते हैं तो. एंड आई एम श्योर इट्स नॉट कंप्लीट टोटली ओवरनाइट एक जन्म में नहीं होता. कुछ तो हो रहा है, होने देना है, होने के लिए कोशिश करना है और कर कर उसमें रमना है. Don't say, Swami, I'm so old, I'm listening to everything, still no sadhana is happening to me. No, never say that again from this moment onwards. We may not be doing the entire sadhana of total vairagya, total satsang and total dhyanam. वो किसी को नहीं होता एक जन्म में. But you are coming to classes. You are once in a while thinking. You are sitting for your 2 minute, 5 minute japa. Let that become the starting point to inspire yourself. And remove that wrong notion that I am good for nothing, I am not able to do anything. No. Tell it to the people when they ask मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ साधना कुछ नहीं. But not खुद को कहना है एक जप का माला किया, कल 2 करूंगा, परसों 3 करूंगा. ऐसे पॉजिटिवली इंस्पायर करते हुए करना है अपने आप को. Here onwards, all my listeners here should take one point in mind. अपने आप को कोसना नहीं, कर्स नहीं करना कि हम साधना नहीं कर पा रहे. No, you are doing. Definitely you are doing. The Gurus, the Lord, they are all with us. This is what is sadhana. What more than listening to Bhagavatam? In that every word is Krishna Bhagavan only. And willingly we are coming. Willingly we are patiently listening. Noting all of that. इसको साधना कहते हैं. यही धीरे 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 बढ़ता रहता है. In its growth, it consumes all non-positivity and fully we are in positive. By the time, because you are already studying Upanishads, the where to find, whom to find, all that also becomes clear. अब देखो शाम के क्लास में भक्ति वाला सत्संग, सुबह वाला ज्ञान वाला सत्संग, और क्या कम है. Clear? Now, what happened to him? She was leaving him, Jaye Gore Tishta. He was running behind her, naked, like a pagal. Then, the summary is what? Kaman atruptaha anujushan kshullakan. So, kshullakan kaman anujushan. ये चिल्लर वाले कामनाओं का भोग करते करते, indulging in this meaningless bhoga again and again, atruptaha, he never got satisfied. With this, what happened? Varshayamanihi naveda yantihi na ayantihi. The days and nights coming and going, he was never aware of, because he was never trupta, even though he was indulging in that wretched kamana. How all that happened is most important word. This is what we spoke for 2 days when we were studying this in the beginning, if you remember. Very exhaustively, I remember all that we spoke it. Only one sentence is Urvashya Akrushta Chetanaha. His Chetana, his consciousness, his being aware, his awareness is totally looted by Urvashi, not outside. His inner Chetana was looted by Urvashi. So he was aware of her more than himself. He was wanting to be with her and indulge more than any other duty, any other goal. There are 2 things I explained to you. Chetasaha, Chetanaha. Chetasa matlab chitta mein urvashi. Oh, so everybody will have some or the other thing in the mind. But the Chetana means what? Totally he was aware only of her. If he is not aware of her, either he is sleeping or dead. उसकी चेतना ही उसमें हो गई. Is Chetana Akrushta by Urvashi. The best way to tell it in English called addicted. You know, the person who is addicted to anything, Can he think of anything other than that? How horrible would be that life for the people? See, some are addicted to the phones, to the TVs, to variety of indulgences, the drugs and drinks and smokings. They're all addictions. So here he has crossed the limits of attaching to Urvashi to the level of addicted to her. That is the power of this sentence. Not Urvashya Akrushta Chetasaha. Nahi. Urvashya Akrushta Chetanaha. चेतस और चेतना में फर्क है. चेतस में तो चित्त में, and in chitta you have about somebody or the other always attachment, but when it is some other work you forget it. Is it not? But in the case of chetana, koi nothing else other than her, nothing is there. You know, जिधर देखो उधर तेरी तस्वीर नजर आती है. That type of गाना of the cinema you can think about. चेतना उन्हीं का पूरा. Anywhere you see, Bhagavan only should be seen. That is the goal. Now he is morning get up. Where is Urvashi? Where is Urvashi? Wherever she goes, he is running behind. She, even if she's there somewhere for taking bath or gone, in his mind is when will she come? When will she come? Like the children, a new खिलौना when you give them, वो छोड़ते नहीं है. सोखने के टाइम भी that Barbie को पकड़ के they sleep. Do you see them? That panda, जो भी नाम है, you give them. They don't leave it. सुबह उठते ही फर्स्ट इफ इट इज नॉट फाउंड, पलंग से नीचे भी गए, they will cry. Then you understand whether this fellow is addicted. Give the doll or whatever the boy girl, then they say, "Hamad jinda hu main." That is the situation he was in. In that way, the days and nights he was not aware. But all that was good. But then Urvashi cannot be permanent with you. What to do? She finds somebody better than you, or she goes for various thousand reasons. Then you see, that's what happened to him. Therefore, crux summary kya hai abhi tak? Never involve, indulge in anything, even little. Else, slowly get addicted so much that you feel like you cannot live without that. Now, that he says about Urvashi in the story, but for you and I, same thing happened with the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya Kosha. Now, I am becoming more philosophical here. Not only story-wise. Story is understandable. We think that we cannot be other than Deha. Itna addict ho gaye. Our Chetana is functional at this moment of our strong addiction that I am only Deha, I am Prana, I am Mana. And when it is said, Saya Eshontar Hridaya Akashaha, Tasmin Ayam Purushaha, Hare, in your Hridaya Akash, there is Purusha. Hriday kidhar hai? Hriday hai ही नहीं. अगर है तो उधर भी उर्वशी घुसकर बैठी है. Like when the floods happen, every room of the house is filled with water in so many places. In this now, the other day you can see in the Sri Lanka, all these people, Andolanakara, जो भी है, enter to every chamber of president and yesterday prime minister. घुसपैठ पूरे घुस गए. In the same way, everywhere Aham Dehosmi, Pranosmi, Manaha Asmi at the most. Bereft of these three, detached from these three, I am exclusively a Jiva with a choice to identify this, with a choice to detach from these three and get identified with the essential self. उसका हमको खैर ही नहीं. Not like this one. In the case of Pururava, it is in one life, he was not aware of days and nights in his addiction to Urvashi. But in our case, not in one life, few days or years, thousands of lives, we are caught up in the addiction of the Urvashi called Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Now, subject is becoming more clear. And every time, like Urvashi leaves and goes, our body also leaves. Every time the Pranamaya Kosha also becomes weaker. Every time the mind is disturbed with so many unfulfilled desires. Like him, he also, Jaye Gore Tishta. We are telling the body in the ICU, oh my body, don't leave me and go. In fact, we leave go and go body in whatever the way. The language is different, but the action is same. You don't want to leave the body. In the case of our body leaving, it is not Urvashi leaving and I am staying. In the case of Urava, here the body is staying, Jiva is leaving. But that also inevitable. सेम फीलिंग होता है कि नहीं, और भी जीना है इसी रेचेड बॉडी में। तो व्हेन यू आर यंग डायनामिक वर्किंग वंडरफुल, ठीक है, अब बूढ़े हो गए, 80 साल के 90 के हो गए, ऑल पार्ट्स ऑफ द बॉडी आर गिवन अप, येट आई वांट टू लिव एंड डू व्हाट। जिंदा होकर वो साधना करता है कि नहीं, फिर सिर्फ देख तमाशा। हाउ मच वी आर ignorant, you see, when you analyze all that. So it is Bhagavan's language of putting in front of us the position of Pururava because of his Dussanga. And it is mutual. He had Urvashi in the mind, then when the Urvashi came outside, he got attached to her. Or she came outside, he looked at her and gave value to her. She entered the mind. And she entered his consciousness, being Akrushta Chetana ho gaya wo. After addiction, there nothing appears for us, life to be lived beyond that. Now we are addicted to Jivosmi, Dehosmi. And while getting all the kicks and getting all kicks, in between some small little pleasures we get, we are only going for it. इसमें और भी कुछ इंट्रिकेट थॉट्स हैं which I will not share. You can think, ये आपके लिए होमवर्क है. Very, they should not be spoken on the dais in this way in the class, but each can understand. Hint दिया तो आप समझ सकते हो कि there is no end to the asha in the mind and all. Now what Samrat himself sang, I love Vacha. Quickly be browsed through. Try to catch. Aho me moha vistaraha. See the expanse of my moha in times, in achievement, in involvements. Vistara moha mein main fas gaya hu. Vistara means deep inside, permeating in and through my everyday's activity. All that is why kama kashmala chetas saha, here chetas I used. My chetas became kashmala because of kama. See my moha vistara. And how it happened? Devya gruhita kantasya. She held my neck, I held her neck. Na ayukanda me smutaha. These most precious human lives, ayukanda, called as months and days, I am not aware. Which were supposed to be used for sadhana. Now I am indulgent in her. That was okay, good, but I want more and more. But she's not going to stay. She'll leave me and go. I'm not able to bear that separation. See that dukkha. Kya zaruri hai? This is what deep thinking. Till this type of conscious thinking happens, we will never say what we are indulging in is dussanga. We will only justify it. And we indulge in that one. जब तक ऐसा विश्लेषण विचार हम नहीं करते. These are few samples. For you in your situation, for me in my situation, in whatever the Urvashi I caught up, basing on this way of thinking, I have to bring out my own thoughts. I have to do my own contemplation. Like for me is what? Satsanga. Is a Urvashi. I have to leave this also and go for my meditation. Akrushta Chetasa. Because Nayamatma Paravachanena Labhya, Bhagavan told, Atma is not available by Pravachana, na Medhaya, na Bahuna Shrutena. In how many number of shlokas remembered, how much of this satsang is being done? Atma ka hai, udhar hi rahega, udhar, hum idhar. So for me, Urvashi is this. I also have to think, taking the help of the same thing, but suiting to my example or my life. Each one of us, whichever we are caught up in, we have to use it. Now feel that sloka. Aho me moha vistaraha, kama kashmala chetasa me moha vistaraha, grutya kantasya, devya grutya kantasya, na ayu kandaya me smutaha. His whole life is gone. Holding on to her neck, she was holding on to my neck. तो दवा तो खत्म हो जाता है एक्चुअली. देव्या गृहीत कंठस्य नायु खंडाय में कृता. Means the feeling everywhere where they are going, एक दूसरे गला पकड़ के. In the foreign culture में, don't you see all that anywhere? Nowadays it is going in India also. That is the meaning of this sentence in the modern language. I'm not putting in that way, then it will be a distraction of topic, therefore. He is holding on to her neck. Anywhere they go, like newly married, जैसे रहते हैं. Like that, what is the meaning of this sentence? And for him, the years have passed away like that. Na ayukhandai me smrutaha. Then what? Naham veda vinirmuktaha surya vabhito maya mushito varsha pugana matahani gatanuta. So, amuya mushitaha. I am so much mushitaha, blindfolded by her. Varsha pugana matahani gatani. Years and years of days and nights have gone. I am not at all aware of it. When the sun is rising and setting like that, years have passed. I was blindfolded by her, and this we explained. मेरी आंख बंद कर दिया, ना दिन ना रात. No, कौन सा आंख ये? Not the physical eye. The eye of awareness, the eye of wisdom, the eye of knowledge and understanding as to what is the goal, what is to be achieved, and also what is being done. When you open the eye, what wrong is done, that also we will know. What right is to be done, that also we will know. So it is not allowed. आंख बंद करके जो अच्छा करना है उसको नहीं देखने दिया, जो बुरा कर रहे हैं वो करते जा रहे. That is the meaning of amuya mushitaha. Mushita means, आंख मुच का खेल खेलते हैं ना. Mushita means आंख को मुचना. She has blindfolded my eyes. Years and years passed as day and night with the arrival of sun and going of sun. Amuya mushita. Okay, and she did not do from outside. Nobody dare can trouble our life if we have guts to say no to them. Please understand, it is never a Vedanta if you blame the persons or situations outside for any of our getting caught up in Maya. Never. It is all Bhagavat Srishti. These are all Bhagavan ने खुद ही इस जगत के रूप में हमारे सामने आ रहे. It is our Drushti Lopa inside. Therefore, the problem always is inside, not outside. Not outside, it is inside. Please remember it. Then he said to, then, Ahome Atma Samoha, we have seen. Now he comes to his point. It is not her mistake. Amuya Mushitaha, I said. But immediately is correcting the next sloka. It is Atma Samoha. It is self-delusion. By which, by this lady, I am made like a Krida Mrugaha. Who am I? Chakravarti Naradeva Shikamani. देखो, he gave her choice, because of which she made him a Krida Mruga. And how did it happen? Atma Sammoha. He has lost sight of his own greatness, his own dignity, his own purpose of life. उनके अपने खुद के जो भी आत्म महिमा है वो सब मोहित हो गया खुद. Therefore, here from this sloka, what is thing to be learnt? The first sloka only. I am a human being. In this, through the Bhakti Jnana Sadhana, I can get Atma Paramatma in my own self as Ananda Swarupa. If this is always kept aware of, there is no Atma Sammoha. If it is forgotten, half of Sammoha is over, the remaining half will be done by any passing by Urvashi. Is it not? If this is kept intact, 1,000 Urvashis come, look, they dare not enter into our mind to disturb. Urvashi here means any objects of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Sagandha, or any emotions of the attachments, etc. See, Ahome Atma Sammoha, Yenatma Jyoshtakruta, Kridamuga Chakravarti, Nardeva, Shikhamani. How powerful was that? We studied that. Then he says, Sa Parichada Mahatmanamitva, and what did she do at the last? When I loved her, gave her value, importance, more than myself, at the cost of my own all sadhana, what did he do? What did she do? With all my wealth, everything which I was keeping at her feet, including myself, Trunamiva, like a ghaspoos. She just hitva, kicked only, threw it away. Yanti, she is going away. How rude, ruthless she is. And see me, such a murak bevakufa, striyam chu anvagamam, such a wretched, useless lady of so much of arrogance or whatever you say, carelessness, I am going behind her like Nagna Unmattavat. लानत है मेरे ऊपर. You know, this powerful thing is the only Brahmastra with which Moha Vyamoha, especially to the men and women Wala, can be conquered, not otherwise. This is the only SOS. It's life-saving drug. There's no other life-saving drug than this type of thinking. And because he brought that thinking, then only he could slowly eliminate all. That is why 2 times said in the सत्संग टाइम में फर्स्ट क्लास श्लोक में भी भगवान ने कहा, लास्ट में भी कहा, उर्वशी लोकमथो विहाया उर्वश्या लोक निस्पृहा. That Urvashi was occupied his life so much without whom he could not imagine even a moment's life. If he has selected her and thrown away totally from the heart, which is a very essential thing. How did he do? Only with this weapon. That's so saparichadam, everything, and myself at her own beck and call. I was serving her, I was giving her everything what she wants. So suddenly like a घास की तरह छोड़कर जा रही है. And see me, I'm running behind her. Kharavat padataditaha. She was kicking me like a donkey, kicked by donkey. See that powerful thing. And it is lucky, great that Naradeva Shikhamani, with one kick of one Urvashi in one life, he realized. But all of us get kicked in every life by 100 Urvashis of every time. फिर भी हमको शरण नहीं आता. That's the difference between. That's why his story is in Bhagavata. Our story is in nowhere except in our own personal frustration. That's why he became great. The greatness of Pururava is he could take into account all the happenings inner and outer crystal clearly without any biasness, because of which he could assess the things perfectly. Then where he is going wrong, he could know. And he had guts enough to get out of that wrong and guts enough to get into what is right. The wrong is Dussanga, the right is Satsanga. Inner and outer. But few things, please, it is 1,000 times repeated, still we are repeating. All Urvashi looks good, but one day she will leave and go. You can't bear that pain. Urvashi is the body, Urvashi is your property, Urvashi is all your wealth. I'm using that word just so that it sticks in the mind. But the meaning of it is every attachment, and more powerful is this attachment. Both way. She dies, then also is miserable. She is intact, he is dying, then also is miserable. मैं तुमको छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ. That pain on the deathbed, कि I'm leaving all this sukha bhoga, is like 1,000 scorpions biting at a time. उतना pain दुख होता है मरने के time, depending on the number of attachments Asha he has got. This is what is he says. Then see that point. This was also every श्लोका is a highlight. मैं बताऊं आपको a total एक श्लोक के ऊपर एक नया एक अच्छा सा नाटक बनाकर 20 मिनट का you can take a serial. Then the conclusion is this shloka and this meaning. Like गीता में एक chapter एक theme है ना, विषाद योग सांख्य योग. Here also we can give a title to each shloka and one serial you can take out and show it. If somebody can do it, they have done the best thing for the whole world spiritually. And there's nothing in feeling. There's nothing to think wrong about Urvashi and all. Everybody is correct, right in their own place. We how to use our human life for emancipation. To teach that this Bhagavata came. Not to hate any Urvashi or dislike or fight. No. हमारा वो purpose नहीं है. Purpose is not miss the human life chance to know the truth. हमारा positive goal है, not negative. Like anybody becomes Chief Minister, Prime Minister, his goal should not be to suppress or eliminate the enemies of other parties we were troubling earlier when they were in power. Then he's a Murak hai, Chief Minister or Prime Minister. His goal should be how to make best use of that power to serve the nation, to serve the people, to get their blessings, to get their love, which goes for eons together. इतने बार स्वर्ग मिलेगा अगर प्रजा का सेवा करें पावर में आने के बाद. Same way, once we got the human life, it should be dedicated only for mukti through bhakti jnana. That is our goal, not to fight with anybody. The purpose of this theme is not any negative place. The whole thing is positive, but we are caught up in negative so negatively. Therefore, we have to talk the language of negative to come out of that negative. That's it. It's all internal. It's only at the level of the moha in the mana, the ajnana in the buddhi, then the vasanas in the vasanamaya kosha. Our fighting is within our own personality, in our own self, not with anybody. Everybody outside is innocent. Everybody outside is divine. How much service you must have done to him during her stay, that all is not accounted. No, that all. कभी चोट लगा होगा उनको, मलहम लगाई होगी, तबीयत खराब हुआ होगा, दवाई दी होगी, उसका हिसाब नहीं लिखा है, बट होया होगा. So at that time they are not negative, is it not? Nobody is negative in the world. Our mind is negative. If this is understood, we are spiritual. इसलिए change the drushti, then the srishti will change for you. And the entire spiritual sadhana studies to change the vision. Without changing the vision, how much ever you study, it is of no use. That is what is the next shloka. Kim vidyaya, kim tapasa, kim tyagena, kim shrutena. Vidyas, all arts you have learned. Tapasyas, all the hardship you have taken up. Tyaga, so many things you gave up. Shrutena, so many shastras studied. Viviktena, stayed in alone place. Maunena, remained mauna at the mouth level. All external done. But in the hridaya, striviryasya manohrutam. The mind, if it is rooted by the stri, all the above things are waste. This is a crux. Now, who will come to the level of studying this text? In that also to the 11th skandha. In that also this 26th chapter. In this also this topic. And in this also this most powerful sloka. तुम्हारा विद्या तपस्या श्रुति विविक्त स्थानम मौनम त्यागम all are nothing if your heart is loaded by any sukha bhoga through the any vishaya vastu. You are gone case. And that much acutely we have to be to protect our antakarana from any infatuation of any shabda sparsha rupa rasagandha or any bhoga. This, in other words, in Vedanta Grantha is called as Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Tat Vairagyam. That is Vairagya. What? Jihasaya, which is total disinterested feeling towards. Towards what? Darshana Shravanadivihi Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitya Bhoga Vastuni. All the bhoga vastus which are experienced through all the senses and mind available on this world as well as up to Brahma Loka, towards all of them, when he have one word he uses there, Shankara Bhagavan, jihasa. Jihasa means the feeling that they destroy us. Therefore, total the disliking, disinterested to them whenever they come in front. With that vairagya, you know the truth. After knowing the truth, you look back into the same things. Everything is all same Paramatma only. The jihasa means the feeling of dead rat when it is in your hands. क्या करते हो मरे चूहे को मसाला डाल के खाते हो क्या? When I say this to you, how do you feel it? If you are not a Chinese. Chinese को anything जी रहा है मर रहा है मतलब खा लेते हैं. चाइना वाले कुछ लोग हैं, कोरिया वाले, थाईलैंड वाले सांपों को मैंने सुना है, मेरे को याद है. They go to the ocean, the crabs are moving, they hold it, they break it and eat it just like that. When I give you this example, a dead rat, half broken inside, all its blood and all outside. Do you add masala chat and eat it? Or how do you feel about it? That feeling called jihasa. When it is in front, or when the thought is coming in the mind. Tad vairagyam, ya jihasa. Towards darshana shravanadivihi dehadi brahma paryante anitya bhagavastuni. In this big way, Bhagavan Shankara writes only because nowhere we should give any chance for any of the things. If you do that, like Sam CD wala example, with CD you reach to such a high level, suddenly that Sam will take you to down bottom level. देखते देखते हम इतने फिसल जाते हैं कि जैसे शुरू किया कुछ जन्म पहले, फिर से वहीं अटके हुए। So to avoid the downfall, he never gives a joy. Therefore, Dehadi Brahma Paryanta. From the Deha to Brahma Paryanta, toward all Bhogavas which are Anitya Jihasa. Now that will be achieved to us only when we take the examples of Pururava and our own life example, sit and data collect करके उसके ऊपर विचार करते रहो. That's why while talking this topic, we said, if you remember, once in a while, keeping away all the Shastra Jnanam of Brahma Jnanam, Tattvam or Bhakti, we have to take up this topic which happened in our life or anybody's life for 10-20 days and think deeply to get the complete and sufficient Vairagya. ये टॉपिक कभी कभी जिंदगी में ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. अदरवाइज हमारे साधनाएं अधूरा रहते हैं. थोड़ा ये भी कर रहे, थोड़ा वो भी कर रहे, थोड़ा ये भी, दैट्स सेल्फ चीटिंग, रीचिंग नोवेयर. Like in our case, 2 years we are studying, but it's only self-cheating that हम पढ़ रहे हैं. We have not even gone beyond अहम देहोस्मि. ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा. 10 साल भी सारे शास्त्र पढ़ो. Even every life 20 years we may spend time in studying Shastra. If you don't take seriously and contemplate, we will live only at Dehosmi Jivosmi only. Added load of this Shastra Jnana. Should we want that? देखो. This is how the Pururavas thing, we are just reminding ourselves once more. So, Swartasya Akovidam Mam. I am an ignorant fellow about what is best for me. What is best is through Bhakti and Jnana, knowing the self. Think Mam, ऐसे मेरा धिक्कार हो. Such a murkha I am, I don't know what is good for me. And Pandita Maninam, I consider myself to Pandita. This is what in Gita. You talk like Pandit but crying and showing that you are Murak. While listening to these shrewd, powerful, arrow-like thoughts, they should pierce our heart and remove from there all the dirt of our infatuations, passions, lusts or desires, etc. That's the only way. This is how the heart operation. It's all cardiac operation. The heart, the spiritual heart, where means the beyond body heart, physical heart नहीं, अंदर का हृदय जिसमें से सब निकालना है. We have to do the bypass there. We have to remove all the blocks that are there. Swartasya kovidam dhingmam murkham panditamaninam. Yo ham ishwaratam prapya. Although I have achieved so many things outside, Strivir go kharavat jitaha. I was conquered by a woman like a donkey as well as the bull. गधा भैंस की तरह फंस गया मैं. क्या बढ़िया पावरफुल है देखो. Only through this thinking, when we get rid of all negative, then whether we call about the Shiksham Vyakyamaha Upasana or Samhita Upasana or Meda Upasana, Sri Kamana Upasana or this Antaha Vyarti Upasana or Tahara Upasana, or in this chapter, the next chapter is entire Upasana in this 11th skandha. They will be meaningful and valid only when we clear our heart with this type of discussion, thinking deeply in our own heart for some days. जितना दिन लगे उतना, या नहीं तो ऐसा हम कर सकते. एवरी डे हाफ एन आवर सिट फॉर मेडिटेशन. उसमें 10-15 मिनट दिस साधना टू डू द व्यतिरेक ऑफ द अनवांटेड थिंग्स. इन द रिमेनिंग 20 minutes द अन्वय साधना अबाउट द शास्त्र. Keep on storing in us both the knowledges about the negativity of दुस्संगा, the positivity of सत्संग. हर दिन हमारे हृदय में भरते जाना है. So that the slightest opportunity of the satsanga we fully utilize and the negativity, how much more powerful it is coming, we are able to send it away. We should. That is called as a great deep sadhaka. Where, like that is one example of Nachiketa. Everything is kept inside, in front of him, but he is so full in his vairagya, he doesn't want anything. And slightest opportunity came to him. The father told, go to Yama. Mrityave tadami. That was enough for him. He goes to Mrityu and he doesn't have any idea whether Mrityu can teach Brahma Jnana or not. Only one vague thought he has got. Mrityu is the one who takes everybody. Means what? He is coming and taking a live person and making him dead. Therefore, he is the one most probably knowing the answer to the question कि what happens after the death. Because it is famously heard so far कि क्या हो गया तो यमराज ले गए. Anywhere you talk यमराज ले गए यमराज ले गए. That is what we listen ना. तो ये बच्चा भी सुना होगा यमराज ले गए. तो जो था इधर हमारे आंखों के सामने, I was seeing him and playing, he was talking. Suddenly he died, he is not there. Then what happened? I asked. Yamaraj took him. Means what? Yamaraj knows who. What happens when somebody goes out of body? Because he is the one who is taking away. Therefore he asked that question. You are the only one who will know it, answer me. He never know Brahma Vidya and Atma Vidya. Then slowly Anyata Dharma, it comes to him. So the slightest opportunity for Brahma Vidya is fully encashed, and a very powerful temptation of everything kept in front of him is totally rejected. With one sentence, तवयो आहा तवनुत्य गीते. इसके औकात क्या है मुझे पता है, तू अपने पास रख ले यमराज, तुम मैनू नहीं चाहिए. I don't want. Is it not? How beautiful. Life should be like that. Like some people are there. Some of them are there. क्या है आइसक्रीम में 10 आइसक्रीम है तो सारे एक एक चम्मच लाओ. ये the third rate type of eating it. There is one fellow. He asks क्या है? Tell 1 2 3 4. 9th item out of 15 he says ये वाला. ये मुझे चाहिए बस ये लाओ बाकी मुझे सुनाना मत. He is very clear. So to in life what is to be achieved is Paramatma. That is choice. All else मुझे सुनना भी नहीं. मुझे सुनना भी नहीं, उस तरफ जाना ही नहीं. That is what toward the end of his song he says, कि unless you look with your eyes and listen with ears, how can the thing enter your mind and disturb? विषयेन्द्रिय संयोगाद मनक्षुभ्यते नान्यथा अदृष्टात् अश्रुतात् भावात् न भाव उपजायते. They are said in Sanskrit but so powerful we have to understand they are the crux. To that natija he reached through all this contemplation. The natija is what? Unless I give value importance, how they can enter me and trouble me? And how I gave the value importance to them? Because I had no occupation in my mind. That was the meaning of million times we heard the sentence, empty mind is devil's workshop. Then what to do? Don't keep yourself free. What to do? Engage in satsang. जीना है सत्संग में, मरना है सत्संग में. Sing that तेरा नाम जोकर वाला गाना. जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. In satsanga. Edit in the song for our sake. कहीं जाओगे तो जी जी कर मरोगे, मर मर कर मरोगे. वहां जीने का कुछ होता ही नहीं. यहाँ मर कर जिएंगे, वहां जीते हुए मरेंगे. Is it not? See the thought, he gets it. And that portion, I thought we can conclude everything today. अब नहीं हुआ तो और एक दिन मजा ले लो और क्या. So, स्वार्थस्या कोविदम दिग्माम मूर्खम पंडितमानिम यह अहम ईश्वरतां प्राप्य स्त्रीभिः गोखरवज्जितः. I was just conquered by her like a donkey and all that. Then some more things. In the next portion, I know you all remember it, you are not so much forgetful. And this chapter I never allowed to forget because repeatedly it was being spoken. But being important, we are doing it. Tomorrow we will see the next portion and total chapter. Then the 27 में हमको उपासना प्रकरण होता है, just like in the morning class. How to do the Archa Puja of Bhagavan? Asks Uddhavji. So beautiful question it is. Then the mind is free now, none of all Urvashi anything. Then you can do the Upasana. You can visualize Bhagavan coming and playing with us, dancing or taking us to his own place. Is it not? इतना मजा आता है वो जीवन में. That we will try for. सर्वं कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. कृष्ण भगवान की जय. चलो, one more day.